Hey guys, I only wanted to come on here for a minute to discuss the Justice Department's announcement that there was no client list that Jeffrey Epstein had prior to his death. I'm sure you all have heard about it, that there were thousands of victims, but no perpetrators of trafficking other than Epstein himself. I thoroughly enjoyed the shock and the surprise that the usual suspects got. I won't name names, but I think that most of us who are observant know who they are, especially certain influencers. They were acting like they were so surprised, like they were really waiting for this list, weren't they? What on earth, that's the question I have, would make you think that you were ever going to get a list when Ghislaine herself had a court case with none of these men in it. So every time there was a matter of other perpetrators besides Epstein, they were never anywhere to be found. What made you think that they would be found? Is that naivete? Is that wishful thinking? Is that devotion gone too far? I don't know what that is, but I kind of got a little chuckle out of watching. They were going the extra mile to act shocked. Nothing really shocked me from beginning to end about the Jeffrey Epstein case. That is mostly because in my personal life I've seen things like this happen, and things have been done to me where stuff gets buried. And so I know how it goes from beginning to end. So no, I was not surprised. I'm more surprised that other people are, that other people believed that if Trump says he's going to get the list, if his Attorney General Pam Bondi says that she's got the list and they're going to give it to you, that you actually believed that. If it turns out that there are many people from the two-party system that are on that list doing horrendous things to non-consenting underage girls, what would happen to the precious system if it wasn't just Republicans and it wasn't just Democrats? It was both parties engaging in activities that hurt children. What would happen to the political system as we know it? I think you know the answer to that. However, Caroline Leavitt still tried to do her best to get up there and somehow deconstruct earlier statements that Pam Bondi had made. I think it was Peter Doocy who asked Caroline Leavitt, what was Pam Bondi referencing to a reporter, about in February 4th of this year, when she said that she was going to review the client list. What was she referring to? And it was interesting because many people now are circulating that clip where a reporter asked Pam Bondi, the Department of Justice may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. He asked Pam Bondi that February 4th. And she said, it's sitting on my desk right now to review. Now in English, in the English language around the entire world, okay, across all genders, across all colors, across all ages, across all socioeconomic status, when someone asks you a question and you answer with a pronoun, the person that asks you the question has the antecedent usually. And Pam Bondi supplied the pronoun. The list is the antecedent of it's. It is. It is sitting on my desk. Well, what is sitting on the desk? The client list. Everyone says, "Oh, Donald Trump is playing chess. He's just playing chess that, you guys can't just comprehend." Nobody's playing chess here. And if they are, it's not that good of a game. What I think that they're playing, what I think that Pam Bondi is playing, she's playing Jenga on the sand. You know the part of the Bible, I think it's Matthew 7, that talks about where you should build your house and how you should build it. Pam Bondi promised something to the people that she now says doesn't exist. She's taking the blocks out of her own home that's already sitting on sand. And in addition to just the ridiculous press conference that Caroline Leavitt had, I believe there was a follow-up one with Trump today where Pam Bondi sat in that one. And he seemed to be saying that, enough is enough. He doesn't want to talk about Epstein anymore. And then he did this interesting thing where, he caught himself being slick. That's what I call it. Well, gosh, where he thought he was so slick that he was going to shame the reporter, shame the reporter to discourage the reporter from asking any more follow-up questions about Epstein if he just told the reporter, well, look at you. Look at you. We got this thing in Texas that the girls in Texas are dead, and you just want to know about this Epstein thing. Shame. He wasn't saying shame, but that's what he was alluding to in order to discourage the any more questions from the press about Epstein. That is a tactic. That is a tool to redirect the conversation to wherever he wanted it to go. That's awful to use the death of the girls in Texas from a flood to not talk about the girls who suffered at the hands of allegedly wealthy people that are being protected now. What he really was doing was saying, let's focus on these girls over here because that's what's happening now. And even though those girls in the past were traumatized beyond comprehension, that's done and over with. Because I said it is. As if there's an expiration to when people, especially people who never get justice, should just stop seeking it. That's what that is. If you want to talk about his Nobel Peace Prize nomination, that's probably always on the table.